I've said extremely often that in ACT English, the right answer is not just going to be the one choice that has the right punctuation or the right subject verb agreement. In other words, it's not really always the case. In fact, it's extremely common not to be the case. It's often not the case that you have four answer choices and one of them is right and three are wrong in the sense that they have some grammatical error. Instead, it's extremely common that you have four choices and all four of them are grammatically good. In other words, their punctuation is fine, their verb tense is good, there's no pronoun problems, there are no problems with their prepositional phrases, but one of them is the best. And we've talked before about how sometimes the best one is the one that's not redundant. But today I want to talk about another extremely common type of question, which are questions of verbosity. And what that means is that oftentimes you'll have you'll have four answer choices, but three of them are verbose. And that just means that they're too wordy. Because if you think about it, every sentence is trying to communicate an idea, right? And if I'm trying to communicate this idea in too many words, well, that defeats the purpose of doing something, I guess, efficiently. So what I want to do now is hop over to the iPad, show you a few examples of this idea so you can really figure out what I'm trying to say, because the student who's aware of this and understands that this question is coming multiple times on every single ACT English test is going to be at a significant advantage over the student who just looks at these four answer choices and says, oh, they all seem fine, I don't know, B or something. Okay, so let's do our best. So let's hop over to the iPad, look at a couple of examples, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, to illustrate what verbose means, well, it means overly wordy. But to demonstrate what this means, I've gone to the iPad here, and I found in this old ACT, this is called Preparing for the ACT. It's a publicly given free ACT test you can find online. I found a very quick example of verbose. But to drive it home, I wanted to write in this quick example that I also know is in my book, just to give you an idea of what's being said here. Every sentence on the ACT communicates an idea, right? Every paragraph communicates an idea, but think of it at the level of a sentence. It has something that it's trying to communicate to the reader, And if you're doing so with too many words, that's not as good as communicating that same idea with less words. Now, more words isn't automatically worse, and less words isn't automatically better. The idea is which of these sentences can communicate the right idea in the least amount of words, okay? So look at this sentence that I have written in here, a very strange one, but it says, I chewed, swallowed, and digested a burger for dinner, okay? Now, you might think this sentence is fine, and in one way it is fine. There's no comma issues here. There's no subject-verb agreement issues here. There's no, as far as you know, verb tense issues here or pronoun issues or anything like that, okay? As far as you know, we need a sentence in this essay that it's a part of that communicates that this person, I, ate a hamburger for dinner, but I just kind of gave away the answer. The way that this is written is way too wordy. There's a way to communicate this same idea using far fewer words, okay? And that would be to simply say, if I cross all this off, I ate a burger for dinner. And that simplifies the sentence because within the word ate, obviously chewed, swallowed, and digested are implied. And so ate would definitely be better. So if I look at this example from Preparing for the ACT, this is number 3. So this essay of the English test is about barcodes. But number 3 says, the first barcode was composed of 4 white lines set at specific distances from each other on a black background. So clearly what this sentence is trying to say is that the first barcode it was like a black box, if you will, and it had 4 white lines, and the distances between them varied or changed, and that kind of a thing, okay? So let's look at the other answer choice options. B says, let's read it in context. The first barcode was composed of 4 white lines set at specific distances so that each was separated, one from the other on a black background. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see that we don't need this part. Okay, so that each was separated, that addition is not necessary. Okay, because the fact that there's 4 white lines at a distance from each other, we already know that they're separated. So that's not necessary. It's too wordy. So B is not going to be correct. Okay, C says, locations, or let's read it in context, I guess. The first barcode was composed of 4 white lines at specific locations, each one set apart from the other on a black background. Okay, that communicates the same idea, doesn't it? But it's just wordier. Okay, it's just more wordy than A, no change. So I'm going to eliminate C. 3 says the first barcode was composed, D says the first barcode was composed of 4 white lines set at specific lengths of distance from each other on a black background. Okay, listen, it's the same idea. It's just too wordy. So D is just a little bit wordier. And there might be other problems. Maybe if you look into the technicalities of the definitions of the words, there might be a little bit of redundancy in there. But the moral of the story is that distances from each, that 3-word phrase or addition to the sentence, is all you need to communicate the idea. And that's why number 3 is A.
So as you can see, it's not only about which answer choice is just the correct one. It's about which one is the best, and answer choices that are verbose need to be eliminated. If you want more practice with this, check out my book, The ACD System, or The ACD English System, where I've got multiple practice passages that hone in on this kind of an idea. Thanks a lot, and God bless.